It was the summer of 1978, and when a chilling secret lay beneath the quiet suburban home of a man who, to the outside world, was nothing more than a successful contractor and a local entertainer, John Wayne Gacy, a man who seemed to wear two faces, one of a friendly neighborhood clown named Pogo, the other, a predator lurking in the shadows. Born in 1942, Gacy grew up in a troubled home, with an abusive father and a deep desire to prove himself as a man of worth. He moved to Chicago, started his own construction business, and became well liked in his community. No one suspected that beneath the mask of an upstanding citizen, he was hiding a darkness so sinister it would shake the nation to its core. Gacy often entertained children at parties dressed as Pogo the Clown, bringing joy to those around him. But behind closed doors, he had a horrifying obsession. He would lure young men and boys, often runaways or those in need of work, into his home with promises of employment. Once inside, they would never leave. He had a terrifying trick he called the rope trick.
Okay, here. What I told him, I said, here, all you do is you wrap it around, you put one knot in it. And I said, then you put a second knot in it. Okay? I said, then you take a stick and stick it in here, and you just turn this. And I said, because it's a tourniquet. I said, that's the only knot I ever learned.
Precisely the kind of knot found on the ropes wrapped around the necks of the victims found under the house on Summerdale.
A sickening game that ended with his victims gasping for their last breath. The rope trick was Gacy's signature method of killing. He would handcuff his victims under the guise of a magic trick, making them believe they could escape. Once they realized they couldn't, he would place a rope around their necks, tightening it slowly. The more they struggled, the tighter it became until their breath was completely stolen from them. He found pleasure in their suffering, watching the life drain from their eyes while he remained eerily calm. For years, young men disappeared, but no one could connect the dots. Gacy seemed untouchable. He was friendly with law enforcement, involved in local politics, and even took a picture with First Lady Rosalind Carter. The darkness inside him remained hidden, until one boy, Robert Piest, vanished on December 11th, 1978. Robert, a 15-year-old working at a pharmacy, had mentioned to his mother that he was going to meet a man about a job. That man was John Wayne Gacy. When Robert failed to come home, his family grew desperate. Investigators soon learned that Gacy was the last person to see him alive. A search warrant was issued for Gacy's home, and what officers found beneath his house turned their stomachs. A crawl space, filled with the decayed remains of the young men, body after body, stacked beneath the floors of his seemingly normal home. In total, 29 bodies were found buried beneath his house. 4 more victims were later recovered from a nearby river. The true horror of what he had done was finally revealed. Gacy was arrested, and in 1980 he stood trial for the murders. His defense: he claimed insanity, that Pogo the Clown had a different personality who committed the killings, but the jury didn't buy it. He was found guilty of 33 murders, the most convicted for any person in U.S. history at that time. He was sentenced to death. For 14 years, he sat on death row, painting pictures of clowns, giving chilling interviews, and maintaining his innocence. But justice had its day. On May 10, 1994, John Wayne Gacy was executed by lethal injection. His last words? A smug. With that, the story of the killer clown ended, but his crimes left a scar on history, a terrifying reminder that sometimes the most monstrous people wear the most innocent disguises.